Regardless if you can hear me or not, do not
I'm just gonna sit here
hang.
and I'm just
Yeah,
gonna sit here. I don't
just sit
know.
here, okay? Yeah, just sit here, all right?
Oh, why do you
Why?
have so much animosity towards me?
Because, like, why? How are you doing today? I'm done. I'm done. How are you doing today? How's your day?
It's going.
It's going. Okay.
How's your day?
Um, it's gone. I don't know what direction, but it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I talked to Star, and I don't know. She told me she was gonna be out shopping. She said she'll try to log on and from her phone. And then I was like, "Well, what time do you think you get home?" Oh, I'll be home about 6 o'clock. I was like, "Bro, do you think we're gonna be on that thing till 6?" And she basically said we talked too much, so she figured that we would. But I don't know. Whatever.
From beyond to know 6 o'clock. I don't know what she thought was gonna be on the call, but
Till 6 o'clock. Yes, 6 o'clock. But the irony is, where is your boy Ro? I don't
maybe
know.
he tied up with something.
I have no idea. But for someone that keeps talking to me about being punctual, he ain't punctual his damn self. So, like, he wants me to make sure I'm on time so I can wait on y'all asses. Like, what part of the game is this what he wants me to do? Because this just makes absolutely no goddamn sense. But anyways, I wanted to kind of piggyback off of, what it was as far as like what we hung up on, I guess, the last time. I can't
Yeah.
remember. I can't remember what we were talking about. I
I
wrote
don't
it
know.
down. I haven't uploaded it yet because it was like a 15-minute conversation. I mean, what the
So
fuck?
we can't do a
I'm
15
gonna
minute
upload it.
conversation.
Yeah, I'm gonna upload it. However, like I was trying to figure out, like the last part was a good topic. Damn, what was the topic? Gosh, let me see. Hold on, I can play it later. Yeah, buddy. So first of all, like right as you answer the call, I literally got the alert about President Trump being acquitted again. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of relieved because, like, can they impeach him anymore? Because, like, I'm tired of impeaching shit. Like, he gets impeached. Oh, okay, we're gonna impeach him. We're gonna impeach him, and then they don't. Nothing happens.
I mean,
So
like they did all this, wasted a lot of time, and did a whole lot of back and forth with the shit, and then they kind of let him off the hook.
yeah,
So it's like, well, I mean, what was all that for if y'all wasn't gonna go through with it? Like, they not, Republicans are ruthless. They don't care. They finna do it. They don't care. And Democrats be trying to be all, lovey. We all in this together. Let's show some unity, man. Fuck them.
yeah.
They wouldn't give y'all
No,
no the fuck, man. They so stupid.
yeah, it's very, very stupid. I'm just so over politics and everything. Biden does Biden even know he's president yet? Like, do they have to remind him every day he wakes up? The
I mean,
whole
we hadn't
time.
really heard from him because he's busy, doing
I mean, you think
like.
is it that he's busy or they won't let him, speak? Because that man suffers from Alzheimer's. I'm sorry to tell y'all. There is no telling what he might say. So yeah, they probably like, oh, be quiet. Let come out top. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like, whatever. I'm just saying, where's the thing at? Yeah, this damn weather, like, it can't make up its mind. CJ acts like he's scared to leave, and he leaves. And I'm looking outside, it looks sunny as shit. I'm like,
Yeah, the sun is
why
out.
are we, why are we tripping? Like,
I
I
mean,
don't
but
understand.
because it's cold outside and any water
Y'all ain't used
outside
to
is
cold weather,
frozen.
like, because it's cold outside. Is that what you really just said? Man,
Man, listen, it's cold. Any water that's outside is going to freeze. So in
Is it raining
theory,
though?
no.
Okay,
But
so
but
it's
here's the
gonna
thing.
freeze.
It doesn't have to rain. People have their sprinklers on and shit. Like
Yeah.
yesterday, I'm going to work and like the same wet spot that's wet every day in front of the on Town East, in front of the rooms to go. It's full of
Somebody,
water.
somebody bust their ass.
No, I'm just saying, like,
I'm just saying.
and then people in Texas don't give a fuck, man. They just be
They
driving. They
don't.
don't care.
Yeah, I'm used to this, but I will say this: I don't get on the road because Texas people do not know how to drive. If it rain a little bit, they gonna slip and slide that
Man,
road.
I'm telling you, if it's raining, they going 80. If it's sunny outside,
Right?
it's going they going 80. If it's snow,
Yeah,
80. Ice, sleet, 80.
for
They
real.
do
It's
not
like
care. No turn
and
signals,
no
nothing.
matter how much tread on them tires, they're just gonna keep going. Sure,
They don't care.
that's it. Hmm.
That's how you get a.
What happened? Oh,
I mean, I see Ro name, but I don't hear Ro saying nothing.
you see his name? I'm not even looking at my phone. I'm just kind of like whatever. He is on there.
Yo,
That's him. Okay.
There you
What's
go.
up, Ro?
am I? Can you hear
Trying
me?
to. I can hear you now.
Alright, I ain't gotta change shit.
Looks
Oh,
like this.
present.
Oh,
It's
I
funny
can't.
because
You know what?
it's funny because you were on time and nobody else was. Like I
Not
looked at my phone
one.
and saw it was 3:06 and said, I'm gonna give it another 15 minutes. Wait.
Why? Like, I mean, why?
Come on.
Why?
Let's not do this.
Why? Come on now. I can flag and
Cause
decide when to flag on the
for
flag.
one, don't we not even gonna act like you told a time.
Well,
No,
I
she
set
did.
a
She
time
put it
right
on the
on. Like I
thing.
did. I did. Right
What'd
after.
you
Yeah,
say?
I did.
What'd you say?
Man, I ain't got the messenger. Somebody please go to messenger and please tell him
Nah,
exactly
I
how
know
many
what
times did I say
it's right
please.
here for me too. The transcript is like,
Okay, first of all,
I'm
this is not
free
no
after
closed
2.
captioning.
I'm free after 2.
Oh,
I told star 3, but you ain't tell us nothing. We just have to go off of what you told somebody else. That's why we all was like, nah, she ain't gonna be there at 3, so we do some other shit.
alrighty. Like I had to
I
leave
hope you get some
because you know
employees and like
I
you be
know.
like, I need y'all to come in at 8 and they show up like 8:30, like nigga, what? You not here.
What you want? Yeah. First of all, if I have any employees, if I am on time, you're on time. If
They ain't got nothing to worry
I
about.
ain't got nothing to worry about, right? Just arrive when I arrive, okay? But if I'm there and you ain't there, you late, no matter.
Nah, you early.
Yeah. So, anywho, okay. So, did anybody happen to watch Malcolm and Marie?
I got about 4 to 5 minutes of it.
First of all, if you watch 15 minutes of it, you watch the movie.
Hold
The
Yeah.
on.
replay
Did you
itself.
watch the whole thing?
I did. I sure did. I watched the whole
All
thing.
right, we not
Yep.
going.
Hmm. See, here's the thing, though, Ro. I appreciate you for holding me accountable with my day. Do you hold yourself accountable for when I ask? You know, when I say, "Hey, can you do this?" or
Do I keep
"Can we be
myself
here at a
accountable?
certain time?" Yes. Yes.
I ain't got no choice but to hold myself accountable. I don't get this.
Did you watch the
I don't
movie?
get this. I never said I was gonna watch it.
So you didn't. Basically, you
No, I
didn't.
told you I wasn't gonna watch it.
Oh, hey, hey,
I
that's
mean,
okay.
yeah,
That's how I keep
if
myself
we want to be
accountable.
if we want to be
Yeah.
honest, if you ever argue with your lady for more than 30 minutes, just repeat that 2 times, and that was the movie. That was the whole movie.
Yeah. Or I could do you one even better. If you ever decide to call me after 3 o'clock, I'm just gonna set the phone down put it on speaker, and you can basically hear me and CJ interact. That's the movie, the whole movie for
Well,
me, right there. That's what I
you
felt.
talking to a filmmaker, so there's gonna be probably more nuance in this movie for me.
Yeah, oh, I forgot
I
what
know.
you.
I mean, visually, it was beautiful. It was
Yeah,
shot
yeah,
excellent.
I did. I don't understand why they spent so much money though. Money. There was like two people. They spent like millions of dollars on that, and it was in one shot, one place. I don't know. I'm not a filmmaker, so I don't know. I know the budget was well over $2 million that they spent on
The
that movie.
budget was $2 million.
Hell yeah.
I mean, but was
The
that
fuck?
like that was like paying the actors and
I believe it's probably paid
wardrobe and
actors. I mean, what the same thing, the whole thing. Like what? I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
if I cost $2,000 a day and we take 10 days to shoot it, then somebody got to edit it, and somebody got to mix it, and then they got to distribute it. So I mean, $2 million is
It's on
considered
Netflix.
low budget actually.
okay, well shit. There you go. We needed an
Okay.
expert on the
Two
call. So
point five million dollars is how much they spent.
And then some of
It
that
was starring two
is them
people.
putting their money. Old girl put a million of it is her money. So on the flip of that, she paid herself, and then she keeps the rights of it. So as everybody watch it, she's getting more money because it didn't cost $10 million. It just said, "Look, we'll make it out of
Mm-hmm.
pocket, 2 mil." And then who is it? Showtime, and Showtime probably or whoever probably paid,
Netflix.
or Netflix definitely ran the bag for it. So they getting $10 million just to fucking run it. It cost us 2 million to make. We made 8 million.
I was just gonna say, he got that up front. I mean, it was cool. It was a cool little movie for what it was. I was a little bit tired of them. And my thing with that, like, okay, I get it with the arguments and all that, man, but shoot, like they were saying some vicious
Oh yeah.
shit.
Yep.
Also, women.
Oh my God, we're not gonna do this, bro. Come on now. Who broke
No,
your heart,
no,
bro?
no, I got you,
Who
Eric.
broke your
Eric, I got
Who
you. I
broke your
got you.
heart, bro?
I
Who
got
did
you.
it? Who did
Nigga,
it?
the streets.
The street?
Now,
Life.
this time, the dude was
Yeah,
wrong.
exactly. That's
He was
why. Yeah,
wrong,
exactly.
and he argued for 90 minutes only to get to the end of the movie and her point be made, and then he feel like that she was right.
Yep.
I. How many arguments have you lost with your lady?
Legitimately, or that I just
I
gave up
mean,
on.
see, that's what I mean. You, if he was wrong, then that's that's 1 out of 50 times that he was actually wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it important though, because of what they were saying in the movie. Like you really should check it out. Like I will check it out just because to understand the point, you got to hear some of the shit that they were saying to
Yeah.
each other. I think he went a little bit harder than she did,
Yeah.
and it was just to a point where I was like, well, man, why she just won't get her shit and leave? Like, man, fuck that. This is crazy.
Look, first, y'all can spoil it. I'm gonna watch it. It ain't gonna take nothing from me if it's just going back and
Mm-hmm.
forth. But I mean, how many? See, how many times have you
So,
been like, shit? I need to just leave, but you're like, you know what? As soon as I leave, it's just gonna get worse.
so dude is a filmmaker. The girlfriend is an actress or whatever. So he just made this film and it premiered. And did he win an award or something? I didn't see it from the beginning.
No, he
I
don't.
just caught it when
He didn't
they.
get an award. I mean, he didn't get any kind of
So it
award.
was
It was
just
just like
the.
a critical review, some type thing.
All right. So she was upset because he didn't thank her. So they went around and around and around with the shit. And this nigga, he called her a drug addict and a broken bitch,
Mm,
and basically said, "I saved your
felt,
ass, and don't get mad at me because your career ain't worth the damn." Like,
I
and
felt that.
I'm not even paraphrasing. This is what the nigga
Yeah.
said.
I'm
I
feeling
mean,
all that.
I'm not making
I'm
it.
feeling that.
I'm not. I'm not making it any worse. This is basically word for word. This is how he went. So they go back and forth with the shit, get to the end, and she basically just makes the point of, I'm not saying that you should be thanking me for give you the inspiration for the movie. I'm not saying that you should be thanking me for any of my contributions to the movie. That's not what I'm saying. Shit, just thank me. Just thank me because I'm here. I'm with you.
Yeah.
When you going through, I'm with you. When you need somebody to talk to, I'm with you. When when you don't want to be bothered with all the shit that's going on at the house, when you need to focus on your job, I'm taking care of everything here. Like, as simple as that. It's not so much that I made the fucking movie, but I did all the shit in the background, man. I made sure your life was straight. Everything was cool with you, so you were able to focus and get the movie and make it, and not have to worry about shit. I'm like, man, y'all ordered for 90 minutes for that shit.
She
And
wanted to
yeah,
be she wanted to be thanked for doing her job.
bruh, shut up, man. Come on now. See, I've been quiet this whole time, but what I will tell you is that, like, one of the things that I
Nah, man,
definitely.
fuck that.
No, come on, bro. Let
Uh,
me talk. God dang it.
cause,
Let me
cause,
talk.
cause, no, you know what? You go ahead and go, cause I'm
Yeah,
finna
let
rip
me go
this
on
shit
ahead.
up. Go
You
ahead.
go right ahead. I want you to rip it up. Come on. Well, that makes that right. Anyways, so like, I think what I gained from, like, I mean,
Man, why
from
don't
the
you get up on
first
that mic?
15 minutes, because like I'm really trying to.
Yeah, you sound
I'm trying
low.
to calm down, one, because y'all keep saying how like loud I am.
This
So
show, nah, it ain't about
okay,
how
you know what?
close she is to the mic.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Hello? Is that better?
Can, yeah.
Give me a
Can you
second.
hear
Hold
us?
on. How do I put this on speaker? It won't let me. Damn. Okay, give me a second. I'm switching to my AirPods. How about that?
That's a good idea.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, when I watched the movie, this is what I got from it. Okay, yes, it to me, yeah, it was a bit much. I mean, but I think they had to draw it out to show the extent, because I promise you, it was probably more than just that night her being upset about not being thanked for the movie. But what I did
Right.
gain from it is the character Malcolm. That dude needs his ego stroked all goddamn day, probably in his sleep. That nigga needed his ego stroke the entire time. Like, everything was about him. Everything was about, you know, everything was about this dude. Can you make me mac and cheese? Can you do this? Can you do that? Like, I mean, yeah. And I don't even know if the two are married or not. Trust, if they were not married, then I would have to say Marie's character is dumb as fuck. As a matter of fact, it says it's girlfriend, because quite frankly, the only
Yeah.
reason why, like, I would even put up with that is if that's my husband, because you're supposed to support your husband. It's going to be some up and downs or whatnot. But what I can
Mm.
definitely see is this dude was like emotionally draining. And not only was this dude emotionally draining, he was emotionally abusive. He was verbally abusive. And that's something that people don't
Oh
really
man.
talk a lot about. And they claim that,
Nah,
oh, it's
keep
not a big
going. Keep
deal.
going.
They say it's not a big deal. But that verbal abuse, in my opinion, is worse than physical. Because guess what? When you hit somebody, yeah, you might break a bone, you might bruise, but the bruise and shit will heal. But the shit that when you start messing with a person, like as far as verbal abuse,
Uh,
that shit's there and it takes a while. Like, I mean, you damn near got to go to therapy to get rehabilitated back to just, to just, to just get through it, to get healed from that. Because I think that was where I was just kind of like, it's too much, because I've been in some verbally abusive situations. And a lot of people don't talk about that because they're like, oh, well, it's just words, sticking stones won't break. Nah, fuck that. But when you hear those words
ain't
come,
nobody
when
not
you
saying
hear
that.
when you hear those words come from somebody you love, that shit means more than anything. Like,
People talk
anything.
about this all the time.
Oh my God, Ro. I just don't know what
I'm
to
letting
say
you
about
go.
you.
I
Let me
just
tell
want
you
to make
something. I
sure,
will. This is a
since
side
this being
note. This
recorded,
is a side
that
note off the
it's in
topic,
there.
but I will tell you this.
No,
I
stay
find it
on topic
so
because
funny.
you
Nah,
gonna
you gonna let
go
me. Nah, I'm gonna say this
far.
one piece and then I'm
All
gonna be done.
right,
I will tell you.
all right.
the people who have listened to me and you go back and forth, they all say the same thing. What's the deal with
I don't
Ro?
care.
What's the deal with Ro? And I'll be like, I don't
Don't
know
I don't
what his deal is. Like,
All right.
our
So you
two,
got that out.
me and
So
him
continue your
never had
synopsis.
any issues, but yet it's like we are two arguing, bickering ass people. And I'm
No,
like,
ain't
I don't know
nobody
where,
arguing with you.
but I
We
feel like you
arguing
always,
because you feel like you have to stop what you're doing to address, just keep barreling through.
all right, go on,
Because
bro.
when
Say say what you
I
gotta say
go,
for a
they
minute.
gonna
Yeah,
feel me.
go
I
come
already
on.
know they gonna
I'm gonna
feel
let
me.
you. Yeah, let them feel you. I'm gonna make sure they feel you too. They gonna listen. I'm not gonna edit any of this.
I
Um,
ain't never. I don't edit
go
my
ahead.
show.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
love.
So I know, and
So
I'm gonna stop editing
I like
too. Like,
context.
yeah, exactly.
Continue.
But I mean, that was it. And as far as
That
like,
was it.
yeah, that was
All
it.
right.
Matt,
All
go
right.
ahead.
Boom. So check it. So Shannon, how long you been married?
Like 13, 13
Bro,
All
years.
I
right.
thought you said 12, but
So
okay.
so so one thing that was mentioned was about ego. How she said that man he needed his ego stroked a lot. But let's talk about the subconscious ego that women tend to possess. Now, everything that Malcolm went through, based on what you guys have said, based on what I know men to go through, uh, there is a lot of self editing and checking that men do to satisfy the ego of his lady
Are
because
you
they
sure?
Yeah.
need.
Okay.
I'm a man. Shannon's a
No,
man,
no,
right?
I can agree with
Yeah.
you. I
So
mean, yeah,
so
no,
so
you have a
what
point.
we do is hold a lot in that women like, well, you should talk about it. But we know we can't just talk about the way we feel.
Mm-hmm.
So we hold this in. And then there is a moment where you a woman can feel like this just was a nothing throwaway thing that I said and he blew up on. But he not blowing up on the one thing that you said. He blowing up on all those times he self edited the things that he wanted to say and never said.
So
And
whose
then it
fault is
comes
that?
out and uh yours.
How the fuck is that my fault? And I didn't tell you to hold that
Because
shit in.
because if we say our truth, we
Mm-hmm.
understand that there's a receipt for that.
Yeah.
We understand that it's an imbalance to that receipt. And
Mm-hmm.
because of that, we have to suppress more than a woman would suppress when it comes to expressing themselves. We understand that women are more expressive in how they communicate. And we have to be understanding that she may say something that she really doesn't mean. We have to be understanding of all the different facets that come with women so we can survive in cohesiveness with women. On the other side, if I had the same emotional output towards a woman, something wrong with him. What's his problem? He has an ego. He has this. He has that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because in order for us to exist together, I can love this woman. I can appreciate this woman, but I can't over express myself because she is going to respond way differently than I respond when she does the same thing.
So
So
okay, well,
when
go
it
ahead.
when no, I'm not done. So when we talk about the fact that this guy needs his ego stroked, but this comes from us spending a lot of time stroking your ego, making you feel appreciated on these over indexed value things that are just simple things, but we know, you know what, I need to show her some appreciation for this thing. And I got to do it over and over because this is a way that she feels value. And we do this because we know that's just a part of the game. That's a part of the relationship structure. So it's almost it's abusive in a way to men to constantly have to self-check themselves and find a refuge. That's why we like to get away and play video games. Niggas get together all the time and don't even be talking about bitches.
Yeah.
Shit that women think we talk about, we be trying to solve the fucking world because we can do that in that safe space. That's where we go to vent. As you vent to us, and you may come to some bullshit, and we like, man, this is the dumbest shit I never heard. But we got to fucking active listen. We got to be a part of that conversation. But then Shannon probably knows this. You could talk to your lady about a problem, and she will fucking simplify your problem. Like, it's just, why don't you just do this? It's like, man,
Yeah.
this is not the simplest shit to just do.
Yeah. Well, what I will say on, I mean, well, first of all, were you done? Did you get your point
So
out? Yeah,
women,
he's
what
going
women
way
do
on.
is over index their value.
Yeah.
And we have to massage that in. We can't say, hey, you think you that little shit that you're doing really ain't shit in my world. You may feel like what you're doing is something, and that's cool, and I'm gonna let you have that. But it's not as valuable to me in my life, in my world, as you may think that contribution is. But we'll give it to you because it doesn't mean nothing for me to give it to you. That is
So,
picking your battles. That's what
yeah.
men do on a consistent basis.
Oh, yeah.
We pick way more battles than you guys do because you can express yourself without no real receipt to that. I'm done.
All right, great. So let me ask you this. You brought up a very valid point. So you say that stuff doesn't
All
mean
of them
anything,
valid.
excuse me? What?
All of them was valid.
Oh my
Just
God.
keep going
Yeah,
with your
let's just
point.
keep
Just
going,
keep
bro.
going with
Let's
your
just
point.
keep. Alrighty, you said that stuff don't matter. So let me ask you this: what stuff does matter? What does matter that
Every
a woman
relationship
would
is
do?
different. Every
Okay,
relationship is
so
different.
see, you can't like. I'm not gonna do what you will, but what I will say, okay, I
You
do
the
agree
one
that
you picked
yeah.
that point.
I mean, you may not pick that. I mean, yes, you're absolutely
No,
right.
I'm
I picked
saying
that
you
point.
picked that point to evaluate. So when you ask me that, I can't say what do I value because the woman
Well,
that
give an
I would be
example.
with.
Give an example because I will agree that yes, I don't expect to thank you for the mediocre bullshit like
But you
fixing
don't.
food
That's what
or
this is what
things
I'm
like that.
saying.
Uh huh.
What you value, what where you if we go to a 1 to 10 scale, something that you think is valuable, or let's just say mediocre. What you think
Hmm.
is mediocre, it may be something I give a fuck about.
Exactly. I
What
mean,
you
now that yeah.
exactly about?
I mean,
So,
because yes, I agree. It's not going to be the same. Nobody. I mean, if you got the same values that I do, then I practically married a bitch. Basically. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a bitch, but I'm just saying that that's basically I'm marrying someone who's equal to me. I don't want you to be equal. You got to compliment me,
but that's
or we
not what I'm
gotta
talking
yeah.
about.
Okay, then can you please? Because I feel like you're. Let,
Well,
well,
you
let me
said
just say
you.
what. Let me just say what I had to say. I did ask you a question because out of
Mhm.
curiosity, you said that the things that women felt that we needed to be, I guess, quote unquote, congratulated for or thanked for, that you feel like that is, mediocre. It's not important. So I was just curious to know what actually is important to you. And I do realize that it's not the same. It's not a blanket term because what may be important to you is not important to me. Here's a personal experience that I can tell you that my husband had to learn the hard way. I don't eat a lot because I have a stomach issue. So I don't really give a fuck what we eat because 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna eat crackers and 7 Up because my stomach won't let me eat anything else. My husband thinks it's a big deal when he fixes a big meal. And I'm looking at him like, yeah, I think it's awesome that you made this big meal, but I can't eat any of it. And that's not me being appreciative. It's the fact that he wants me to pat him on the back for doing
You're
something that he really did for himself because
no,
I can't eat it.
you're making my point
I know I'm
because
making your
bec-
point, but you're telling, but see, but the thing that I'm trying to ask is what is important?
no,
What
what I'm saying
is
when I say
important?
you're
Is it making the meal?
just because you're saying that people will listen to this, when I say that you're making my point, meaning he can do that, you can have that commentary about it, and he has to check himself before he responds to that
Hmm.
because you can express that freely. But let's say that you cook a big meal and he eats small, he can't respond to that situation the same way you just responded to it because
See,
the
I
potential of
mean,
you
I don't
blowing
know.
up on him about that.
See, you are. I feel like you automatically assume that
This is just
the
a
other party is gonna
scenario.
blow up. Yeah, it is a scenario, and there has been times that I fixed something that, like, I don't eat red meat. I eat more like I'm actually more of a vegan, but for the sake of my health, I do try to eat meat. So I eat more like chicken, things like that. CJ that can't stand chicken, so trust me. I mean, we've had these discussions before, but basically, I was just curious to know what things you value because, to be honest with you, we all have different values. We really do. We all have different values. But the whole, like, as far as what you're saying, yes, and I agree. As far as from a female perspective of a man, because, like, again, I never pretend to feel like I know what a man is going through. Never. I'm still learning every day. From my father, from my husband, from my brother, friends, you name it. I mean, I never claim to know exactly what y'all go through. And to be quite honest, during this time frame, it's probably like it's really hard out there for y'all because y'all aren't really allowed to be men anymore. I mean, I feel like everybody
Hmm?
wants to be equal. Everyone wants to, the whole boys will be boys movement thing. I think, I mean, I'm not even going to go there, but like, so trust me, I get it. I totally can agree with you to a certain extent. But when it came to this movie, I do definitely think you should go ahead and just check it out. When you're bored, hell, you can just let the shit play in the background because the dialogue isn't just them arguing. It's the fact that, and it's not just the fact that he didn't forgive her. I mean, I'm sorry, he didn't thank her for this movie. It's the fact that he basically, the movie was literally adapted through her, right? This man came from,
Right.
he was raised from love. Like he came from a stable family. Marie's character did not. She was a drug addict, this and that. So basically, the motivation, the what's the word that you guys use as far as filmmaker?
Yeah.
The like, shit. Like how y'all go get into
The
character.
inspiration.
He got into her character, and I mean, and it's what made his film what it was. So to be honest with you, I do feel that he should have thanked her. He thanked everybody else, all the everyone that all the big wigs at it, but he didn't thank the source. Like if it wasn't for him learning that story from her, I mean, how else would he have been able to tell that story? It's kind of like, how they were exposing these rappers for claiming to be hard and shit, and come to find out they were like parole officers and stuff. It's kind of the same thing. Like he basically took her story and told it. And not only did he tell it, like I don't think I would have gave a damn about acting it out. And that's just me. But again, she was an actress, so I guess in a sense, yeah, I can see why she was upset that he didn't think. But to be honest with you, that should have been a conversation. It shouldn't have been an assumption. But as far as that movie, I think it just had a lot to do with he basically used her as his muse and couldn't even thank the muse. That's basically what I'm getting at. Whenever you take a picture, you credit the damn model, right? He didn't credit the source. But yet he's getting all the credit.
I don't know.
That credit, all that patting on the back, that's feeding his ego. I'm sorry, his ego. When he gets home, he wants her to continue to pat his ego, and like he couldn't even thank her. Like to me, so that's why I was like, I can kind of understand where she came from. And again, you probably should just watch this movie because his character, believe it or not, some of the things that he said, those were really some bitch moves. Like literally, I'm talking about. He literally tried to um, desynthesize who she was or her role in the movie by bringing up other women, which I, to be honest with you, felt was like a little disrespectful as
So
shit.
check this
Like,
out. I just
yeah,
because I see you kind of losing gas.
how
Uh,
am I losing gas? Oh my God, bro. I can't. If anything, I'm trying to remain calm because that's the common malady of when I have a freaking discussion with you, Ro, is that Erica, you get really riled up. And it's not even me getting riled up. Like when I get passionate about shit, my voice tends to elevate. Look, I ain't hit no blunt. I ain't took no medication. This is just me relaxing, drinking my cup of
all
coffee.
right. So
So if you feel that I'm losing my
since people
gas,
listen
it's
to
me
this,
allowing you. Yeah,
since
I'm
people
gonna let.
listen to
Yeah,
this,
nobody's
they don't
listening
want
to
to
it right now, but they
necessarily
will.
rant about like
Yeah.
that. So, uh, I feel like based on how I've seen people talk about this film and listen to you go through what you talk about in this film, real quick, my response was not about the film; is about your examination of the film. That's what my commentary was about. As far as what I'm hearing, what
Mm-hmm.
if the point of this film, and I hope the real niggas is listening to this, what if the point of this film is role reversal and the
It
things
could
that you're
be.
and the things that you're attributing to him as being bitch shit is the shit that men are usually on the receiving end of. And it's a reflection of the arguments that couples have on the reverse sides.
It is true. That could have very well been what it was,
I'm no,
the
no.
reversal
I'm
of
just
it.
saying, if that's what that is, how does that change how you
Yes.
look at that?
How does it change? Well, let me tell.
It's still
It's still
fucked
fucked
up.
up either way. It doesn't validate
It's
anything
still
because
fucked up.
as a woman, we should take ownership in the fact that okay, we got to stop. You know, we got to stop. Like I guess over exaggerating our roles when in reality we're doing the bare minimal. Like I don't
Okay,
expect
Shannon, what do
any.
you think?
Oh Lord, have mercy, God.
Shannon, what do you think about that? You said it's fucked up. It's still fucked up.
It's still fucked up in a relationship, man. There's just there's things that you're gonna do for your partner because you understand those things are important to
Mm.
your partner. So your point is made that yeah, we as men, we we dodge punches, we pick our battles, we suppress, we hold things in or whatever. We do all that. But we do that because we understand that our partner may not be able to handle how we might come off with certain things. And shit that you say, you may just say in anger, you may just say it in whatever. You don't need to be insensitive. The same way she don't need to be insensitive with you. Like it
What's
works both ways. So even if they reverse the roles, there was shit that he was saying that really had nothing to do with what was going on. All she wanted was a little appreciation. And although those things that she mentioned were just mundane things that you wouldn't, oh my God, you made the best eggs. These, I praise, I love the eggs that you made. No, that's not what anybody is asking for. But just the fact that I notice how you like your eggs because I love you, and because I know you. I know that's what you like. And because I care about you, I love you enough to make the eggs that
Yeah.
way.
what's the most instinctive thing that you said to your lady that when you finished, you knew it was fucked up?
I don't have to be here.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's pretty. That's
You know,
tough.
now I don't know what the argument is
And that's
about. I don't
true.
know what it was
And
about,
I'm let
but
me
you know
let
it's
me now
great. I
let me explain it. It's true. I don't and that's true to anybody in a relationship. I don't have to be
Yeah.
here. But I'm choosing to be
Yeah.
here. And don't throw it in my face to say, well, I don't have to be here. I could be any other. I could be with anybody else. I could be anywhere else or some shit like that. You shouldn't throw that in anybody's face. The same way that when he was going in on her and you're not this and that, you don't need to throw that shit in anybody's face because if I care about you or whatever, the shit that you share with me, I share it with you because I care about
Yeah.
you. And I hope that you care about me. And I feel comfortable enough to be able to talk to you about what I'm talking to you about because we're in a relationship. So it shouldn't be a competition. I think people get bogged down in the competition because you're feeding off of what society and what social media and all that is. It's not a competition between you and your
when
significant
you
other.
when
It's a
you said you
partnership.
didn't have to be there, what was her response?
Oh shit. Just kind of look.
Because that shit hurt.
Yeah, because it hurt.
I mean,
I
yeah.
don't and the point with the movie to me was there's a way that you disagree with your partner, there's a way that you argue. And you shouldn't argue to hurt. You should argue to get your point across. You should argue to try to get somebody to see your point of view, but you shouldn't argue to make points to uh, oh, let me say something more hurtful
Yeah.
than they said to me. And that's what that was. It was a back and forth of that was fucked up what you said to me. Let me say some more fucked up shit to you. Until it got to the end of the movie and she finally just said, look, man, this is what it is. And every time she tried to circle back to, Oh, when you said this, I mean that was fucked up. He would always dismiss what the fuck she was talking about. She made a point when she was hitting below the belt. She called him mediocre. Out of all the shit that she said about him, he caught on to that mediocre shit and came back, and that's what made him say the most fucked up shit. What do you mean by mediocre? And then he went in. Tell you something about you. Only even and I done messed with a million women. And I was like, God damn, bro, do it have
But
to go like that? It was a
so
good.
when you said what you said, did that come from something that she said that on the outside looking in that an average person go like, damn, bro, you that's how you reacted to that?
Oh, like I was overreacting to some
I
shit.
can't ever say overreacting because the way you act is the way you kind of planned it on. So the reason I'm asking that, the reason I asked it like that, is because the thing going back to what I was saying originally is that men are holding so many things in that we know, like we could take the uppercuts, we got a good ass chin, but it's gonna always be like some what can look like some bullshit that will really get this thing popping. So I was asking if it was something that she said to you that caused that reaction that the average person would be like, this nigga tripping.
Oh yeah, like I
Yeah.
just went there. Not really. Um, I think the conversation was more of she was upset at me because I didn't want to do something or whatever or some shit, and I was basically like, you upset at this, but when this is going on, I can't get a reaction out of you or whatever. It's almost like I'm just here like I'm a novelty, like I'm a trophy or some shit. Like I mean, I need some kind of feeling other than fuck you upset because I don't want to do some shit.
Hmm.
So it just kind of escalated from there. It escalated to a point of, I mean, what do you want me to do? What do you want? I was like, well, fuck, man, just feel something. Just let me know that there's something there.
Yeah.
So then it turned into me finding shit to say to get a reaction out of it, and they got a reaction.
I mean, what I will say on that note, though, Shannon, because I mean, I totally, I've been there, done that. But one of the things I try to get people to understand, like when you're in relationships, don't even have to be married, but when you're in relationships, I look at relationships as a team, and I think that's where we mess up is we feel like we got to outdo each other. Like even when it comes to arguing, when it comes to anything, we got to outdo each other. My rule is when it gets to the point where we're arguing, nobody wins. We both lost, basically. I mean, we both freaking lost. So it's not who did what, I did this. We both fucking lost. And I'm the biggest, like, I will tell you, believe it or not, I do not argue. I hate arguing, and it's not that, and I don't believe, one thing that men do, and I really just, didn't say right now, no. Okay, so now somebody else mentioned. Okay, I don't believe in holding things in either. You know, I do feel like we need to find an appropriate way to get our point across, and not just say, "Oh, well,
Yeah,
I didn't want to say this because you were gonna blow up." Nah, and like, and then when a person says, "Yeah, bro, come on now, let me talk."
I
Then when a person says, "Hey, well, I didn't want to say nothing," and then they blow up, and in my in my opinion, it's your fault because nobody told you to hold on to that. Nobody told you. It could have been resolved. Like that's part of growth. It's learning how to communicate without getting upset or angry and having that capability to communicate with the other party, not getting upset and angry. And that's what I'm big on. Like if there's a moment that something happens and I'm like, okay, let me bite my tongue and not say anything right then because it's going to escalate. I do still make an effort to let it be known, and I'll be like, I
yeah, to
yeah, to
come
come
back
back
around
around
to
to
it,
it.
but you don't want to address it
Yeah,
right then because You don't know what's going to be
But it's
surrounded
not.
in there.
It's
Exactly.
How
You
you
never.
don't
know you
know
It's
burnt
if
the
you.
chicken? You always burning the fucking chicken. You a stupid ass motherfucker for burning this damn
it's
chicken.
never about for us, for men though. It's not about that we can't say it because we say some foul shit to each other just in playing fucking basketball or a game or whatever. We know how to express our displeasure. We also understand that what we say to each other could come to blows. We're ready for either level that this thing can go. But
Are you referring to men with each other?
yes,
Okay,
but
Yeah.
so we
but
can't. Okay.
but
We,
the issue is
hmm
not that we can't express ourselves, is that women typically don't know how to respond to that type of conversation, to that type of criticism. If they had a better way to respond that didn't go from 0 to 100 or didn't lead to, let me bring this circle back to this later and throw this back into his favor. Well, you said XYZ. If women could legitimately handle a situation in the moment when we're trying to communicate our problem, we'll probably be good. But
but
that's not how
that's
things.
not always good. It's not always good to approach or like try to resolve an issue right
But
then
we're
and there.
not.
Sometimes
I'm
you
not
do need
saying
that
that. I'm
moment.
not saying. I'm just saying it's not about what the fuck we saying. It's about how women respond.
How we respond.
And
Okay.
so when
All
the
right.
criticism to us is, well, men shouldn't hold this back and that back. We're holding back because of the response. We know how much do I need to address this, or can I just pocket this? Because if I address it, this shit. I know my lady. I know how she get.
Yeah.
So
Right.
do I do this, or can I just bank this and take this as a L? Let me take this as a L. Let me take this as a L. Oh, hold on. No, we're not gonna do that. Now we're gonna do a lot of shit, but we're not gonna
Sometimes
do
it's
that.
easier to take that L.
So,
I mean, nothing. It's easier to take that L though, bro. That's what basically what I'm
but
getting at. Is it's easy to say, okay,
yes,
I'm just
but
gonna take this
we
L, chop it up
taking
to the
the
belly, and
L
not say
because
it.
of your response, not because we can't communicate. So in essence,
So let me.
the person who really needs to work on their, in my opinion at least, I don't want to, and this is not all women, but the person who needs the lesson would be the woman.
Okay. Having said that, you're absolutely right. That's pretty much what I was getting at. But at the same time, that's
But
something that you're
there's
gonna.
no
That's
same
still a
time. You
conversation,
can't
and it's
agree and be
wait.
on the same time.
Can you
But
please
I'm
let
saying
me
what you're
talk?
saying.
Let me
I
talk though, bro.
will,
You don't let me talk.
I
That's the problem.
will.
But you will until you get your point across. But it's
But
like
it's not
you'll
a
say
point. Hold
something,
on. Let me
and
say
I'm
this. I'm gonna
answering
say
you,
this and let you go.
and
I'm
then
gonna
you
say
keep
this and let
going on
you
it.
go.
It's like you want to
It's
stonewall
not.
it.
It's not about my. When I jump into
Oh,
is when I see you deviating from the point I'm making. So when you go somewhere else,
nah, ain't nobody deviating. Trust and believe. I'm not
but that's
deviating. I'm
why
trying to
that's
get
the only
straight to the
reason I
point.
jump in.
What I will say is that what I hear you doing is basically making an excuse for not addressing the situation.
I'm not.
Now, granted, it doesn't need to be.
That's not what I'm
Listen,
saying.
bro, listen. It doesn't need to be. No, no, no. But that's what I'm hearing. So I'll give you a chance to elaborate, I guess. But can I at least get a sentence out without you interrupting? What I was going to say is that I agree to the extent that it shouldn't be like that. You get what I'm saying? Because guess what? I'm sure it's not hard to believe I was that person where you couldn't say shit to me. You had to around on eggshells until I had to think. I had to take a self evaluation of myself and say, wait, do I really want to be that person where my husband can't even say anything to me without me setting off, without me getting upset? So, one, I will say that it shouldn't be like that. Point blank, period. It shouldn't. But what I will say is that that's where growth comes in. And that's where, you have to learn to take things with grace, which is something that men, y'all aren't supposed to know
Growth
how to
with
do
who?
it. You do shit with grace. Growth. First of all, the woman needs growth. But I do also say the men need to learn how to, learn how to say things in a sense to where it doesn't come off as being so aggressive because you can't talk to me like you talk to your boys. Now that you cannot do, and you will never be able to
But
talk to
that's
me
we don't.
like you talk to your boys. Nah, okay, so you won't. Good,
No,
I'm
I'm
glad.
saying we don't.
But what I'm
You're
we
saying that
don't
we need
nah.
to
But see,
work
but I
on
feel
how
like you
we.
complain and you feel that we should be able to talk to us like you're my
No,
boy or
I'm.
whatnot. Like when
But
you go
that's
out
not
the
what I'm
on the
saying.
court,
We
you
don't
can be
have a
like,
problem in
okay,
communicating our position, but it's when we communicate our position it's the response. So what you just said is that
Response.
you said about growth, and you said, well, it's growth on the men because they need to be able to XYZ. But if we don't respond to our lady like we do to our homie, we do practice self-editing, how much growth are we really looking at on our end?
See, bro, let me point out something to you, and I love you to death like a brother. You are still in that
I'm
competitive
not
phase in the
competing.
relationship. Yes, you are, because you're basically saying, well, whose
No, I'm
fault is
not.
that? Well,
I'm
who needs
very.
to do this?
I know how to
Listen to
communicate
me
my
when I
point.
say that, yeah, that is something that women, yeah, we do need to do.
So
We do. We do
if
need to
that is
do.
what it,
So if you're saying that,
if that's what, if
can
you
you
can
please let me
agree,
finish, bro? Let me finish. Like I can't even finish my sentence. Like I don't think I've
you're
been able to finish
gaslighting
one
right
sentence
now.
since I like told you. Ain't nobody gaslighting. I'm telling you exactly what could resolve the issue.
But
If
this
you're
is what you
okay,
did. This is what you
just let me
did.
say my piece.
You
Let
said
me say my
you
piece.
said
You
what you
trying to go
said.
for 50 minutes fucking arguing. I feel like I'm watching Malcolm and Marie right now. Like, dude,
So
just
look, okay, fine. You have. This is what we do. You have your way. Go ahead and go. I'm done.
thank you so much. What I was saying
This is
is
actually
that
the
when
point.
it comes to us women, this is what I'm saying. As far as us women, yes, we do. We really need to learn how to respond. We do. We do need to learn
We're
how to respond.
practicing that
Okay.
right
I
now.
admit that. We're, yeah, okay. And but yet you are still talking. You're
This is
still talking,
exactly
brother,
what I'm.
bro.
What
So
this is the point I'm making,
basically,
though.
all you're doing is furthering
All
everything. You're
right,
just furthering everything. You're
I'm done.
gaslighting. Okay. So when you say that, okay, you don't say anything because you're afraid of the
I didn't say
response,
fear of
and
the
I'm gonna say
response.
afraid because that's exactly. But I did. I said it
Then
because
don't
that's
say that
exactly what
I
it is.
said
It's
it.
afraid, fear. You didn't say it, but it's the fear that
I'm
is
good with
preventing
words.
you
I didn't.
from
That's not
talking
what
to
I'm
your
saying.
spouse. Okay. Well, no, I know you didn't say it, but I'm telling you what it
But
is.
it's
It's
not.
fear because no grown man should have to bite their tongue when it comes to things. Now, if you have to bite your tongue, it's probably 9 times out of 10, it's probably because you're not going to say it correctly.
No, not me.
That could very well be the case. But what I will say is that when it comes to us women, yes, I've gone through years of therapy, as far as to learn how to communicate. Because I do feel like communication is something that it will fuck up anything. It will fuck up anything, whether it be a relationship with your mother, your relationship at work, your kids. It could be any of the above. Yes. So communication is key, and we've got to learn how to listen. And not only do we need to learn how to listen, we need to actually listen and not listen to respond, which is something you say I do, but it's so funny. I feel like you've done it this entire last 40 minutes. But as far as like what you say, that yes, men hold things in because they don't want to get into an argument, right?
No,
What I'm saying is,
that's not
yeah,
what
you
I'm
may not.
saying.
Okay, well, we'll okay. All right, magically, I don't know what you're talking about. No, nothing different. But anyway, so when you say that,
It's not even.
when
It's
you
not even the
say
argument though. It's just the like literally. It's the
it's the
response
response,
and whatever
yeah,
that response is. But the response may not be an argument. It may not. It may be. She just gets angry. She shuts down. She whatever.
because like one thing I've
Divine.
Hold
learned,
on. Who just got
that's
on?
Star just
Star,
jumped
Hold
that
on.
in.
is
Hold on. Hold on. Hold
Star,
on. Hold on. Hold on.
Star,
Hold on. Hold
and
on. Hold on.
Star just jumped in.
Hold on.
Star, we're basically arguing about this movie. I was hoping that we wouldn't even still be talking about it. I really didn't want to spend too much time on this movie, but apparently it's triggering people. But what I will say, what I will
What I
say,
will say
Ro,
is, I
please
don't see
come
this. Is
on
what I'm
now,
saying.
bro.
I
Come
don't
on,
know
please
when we're
finish my
supposed to
point.
speak.
Like I feel like we're talking in circles. Okay, but here's the thing, though. I'm not saying
I didn't
nobody's
say
allowed to
that.
speak, but
I
my
said I don't know
point,
when we're
the end of my
supposed to speak.
sentence. Okay, I'll let you know
Okay.
when I'm done. How about that? All right. So, all right. So
No,
Rose
no,
said
don't.
that
I can attribute.
when. Okay, we'll remove
Yeah,
Ro. Just
just
forget it.
your
Rose
position.
fine.
I'm good
Okay.
with being
So
able to
when
communicate.
when a man gets into it with a woman, right? If there's an issue with the woman or whatnot, there are times that we feel the need to pick our battles. We don't want to say anything because it's like we don't want to result into an argument or it being taken the wrong way. Now, my stance on that is that okay, one thing that I do find common with men is that they tend to hold a lot of things in, like something a woman done rubbed them the wrong way, but they don't want to say anything because they don't want to argue. Okay,
No, no.
basically what I'm saying is, Ro, please, for the love of God,
But you're
please let me
go
finish. I'm not even
go.
talking about you. I'm talking
I,
about the movie. I'm not even talking about you.
but
I'm
that
talking about
wasn't
the
the movie.
movie.
That's what we've been
I'm talking
talking
about the
about.
movie. Okay. Did you watch the
But that's not what we
movie?
was
Did you
talking
watch the
about.
movie?
So
Okay, thank you. So, Star, basically what I'm saying is that I said that's no one. Okay, as far as you feel the need to not tell your significant other or whatever, and then letting it get to the extent where you blow up and you mad, whose fault is that? I feel like it's his fault because if you don't, if you choose not to communicate that to the other person, in their mind, they have no idea what the hell is going on, right? No fucking clue. So it's just gonna continue to pile on, and then you're gonna fucking erupt. And trust and believe, I know because I used to do this my damn self. But one thing that I will tell you that will help is that if you're not able to say it right then don't say it right then. But you're gonna have to figure out a way to effectively like communicate and say, hey, babe, I really don't like how you did that, or and that's not being soft. That's just fucking talking without it resulting into an argument or triggering or upsetting your wife, or bitch, you look fat. I didn't like how you said that shit or whatever. I mean, like, if you could just say it with like some respect and just have that heart to heart, remove all the like distracting factors or whatever, and just say, hey, I really didn't like how what let's see how you complained about how I parked the car. Because yeah, I can see a woman being upset, and then you say, oh, I don't like how you parked the car, and then you blow on the fuck. Like, I can see that, and I understand that. Yes, it does happen. But if it hurts you that bad, you need to say something about it and figure out a way to say it. Now, if your woman cannot handle that criticism, then that's something that she needs to work on within herself. That she's going to have to speak to someone and have them counsel and help her to learn how to effectively communicate or whatnot. But you basically saying, oh, that's how all women are, that's the bucket term. That's not really fair because I went through
who
years of counseling to learn how to communicate effectively with my
who said
husband.
that?
Who? Who
Oh,
said
you
what?
So
said that you
hold on,
said
hold on,
something.
hold on, hold on, hold on,
I
hold
don't
on.
know who said that.
I ain't
Hold
watched the
on,
movie,
man. Hold.
so I
Sean,
don't know
you
what the
just, I
fuck.
mean,
So we gotta.
I'm done.
I was just gonna
He didn't
say,
watch it
can
either. So,
can
I
we
mean,
Are
that's
we
why
just
I'm like,
speaking
I
in
don't even
general,
understand why
or are
we're
we
so passionate
Because
about
it's
this
not
specifically
about
about
situation.
the movie?
Only one of us
Shannon.
can
no,
What
talk.
was you about to
because
say? Shannon was about to
y'all
say
not
something.
y'all not pass because y'all not passionate about the movie, man. Y'all
But
just like going
that's
back and
what I'm
forth with each
saying. Like
other.
I'm not
No,
At the
nobody,
end
I'm
of the
not
day,
caught
nobody wants
it's
to
into
all out
see
of
like,
this.
love, though.
and
I feel
honestly,
Nobody
like.
what I
wants to
did,
see this.
I did it on purpose. But I did to show the difference.
Oh,
Is that I'm Shannon, you was here for it. And you heard me saying what I was saying. This was
he's still
legitimate,
on this
but it's
competitive
not
shit though. Like that's
but the
what kills
problem
me. It's like,
here's the
yes,
thing.
it is. It's
You're
competition.
contributing things to me as something that I said or a point I'm making that I'm not. So it's gonna behoove me to correct that because I don't want someone listen to that
You
and
just
say
say
that that's
something.
what he's trying to say, and that's not what I'm saying. So to me, if you say it
So what
wrong,
are you
I
Okay,
want to
but
okay?
correct it.
here, here's here's something that nobody can control, and this is a perfect example of it. And it also goes back to the point of what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You can you can say something to someone, significant other, stranger, friend, brother, sister, whatever. You can say something to someone, but you can't control how that person is going to receive it.
Exactly. You can't. And that's where, as
And
far as what I
so,
said,
so the same way Rose says something,
mhm,
and then you interpret it a certain way,
exactly.
it doesn't
And you know
necessarily
what?
mean that
I might have blew the fuck
she's
up.
wrong
Exactly.
or that Rose is right. All that means is when you said that, that's how I heard it, and
Mhm.
that's everybody, and that's how relationships
And
work.
you would
Yeah.
also
I
agree
mean,
that
It's the same.
this is why we self-edit.
No, it
Okay.
is. No, that has a lot to
but
do
that's
with
still
it.
a
It does have a
mistake.
Why?
lot to
It's
do
still a
with it.
mistake because all you're doing is selling yourself
Not
short.
necessarily.
Because your spouse or your significant other, when you choose to marry or whatever, like if you can't confide in your spouse, then who the fuck can you confide in? That's why people cheat. So you should be able to confide in your spouse. If they do something that rubs you the wrong way or it hurts your ego or whatnot, if you can't tell your spouse, then who are you gonna tell?
I mean, it's a long list. It's not.
Exactly. But see, that's the thing though. You don't need
Really?
to have that long
What?
list. Like when you choose to marry someone, it really should be between you and your spouse and really God. I mean,
I
you shouldn't
beg
be
to
including
differ
nobody.
because
Now,
if I
look, I know
want to
I
call
went
my
to.
husband a man, because he gonna take it the wrong way, and I'm just
Man,
venting.
thank you. Oh my God.
So when I come
Oh
to
my God.
you and say
Oh
this
my
nigga
God.
about, it's
Thank
not
you.
for,
That
I'm not really gonna go slap her. I just needed to vent a little bit, and I don't need to say that to him.
But see, that's something you saying out of anger, though, right? That's something you say out of anger, though. So I feel like when you say shit out of anger, it doesn't count. So that's why I feel like you have to diffuse the
Right.
situation. Because if you're gonna
Hey,
be
that is diffusing the situation. That
what
is diffusing the situation.
by
Because I'm not
talking
gonna
to
say
that, but that is different. I'm saying when it comes to something as far as now, Divine started calling her. Does that
Yeah,
in
if I
any
said to
way
him,
affect her spouse as far as his
it's
ego?
gonna
Yeah, he
cause a
might not
problem at
like what
home.
she said.
yeah.
But no, I'm saying no, no, no. Wait, wait. I'm talking about you saying that to, like, say if you said that to me. You know what I mean? What if you say that to me? Is that really truly gonna hurt, or like, do you feel that by saying that in any way, you might be disrespecting his mother, but are you disrespecting his your husband or your spouse or your boy or man or fiance or whatnot? Are you by any means
Not him
disrespecting or
personally,
talking
but
down
that's
about
gonna
him?
affect him because I'm talking about his
You're
mama.
talking about
So
his
yes,
mother.
it's gonna cause a problem.
Exactly. It's going to affect him. But when you marry him and his mother is like your mother, do you think that it's still going to be
If I
okay
call my
to,
own mama
call
about, I'm
it,
not gonna
is
say it
it
to my
a hoe
mama.
or a
I'm gonna probably
scallywag?
say it to my brother. So yes,
I was just gonna say
you do have to have other people to vent to just sometimes clear your mind.
You do. Now, as far as venting, but we're talking about the whole ego thing because that's the whole purpose of this whole movie. It was about the dude's ego. Like, and you're telling, like, Ro is saying that, well,
mm-mm.
I don't even know what
If
Ro's saying
if they
anymore.
want my opinion, I'll
But as
give it.
far
What
as,
I got from what I came in
yeah, and
on
I know
is
you will.
you
I
saying
know you
you
will.
need to go to your spouse with
Yeah, which
everything,
is a
and I don't feel like
clusterfuck.
that's the case.
Nah, not everything. I'm saying that if y'all have an argument, like if there's an argument, well, not even an argument, I'm sorry. If your spouse does something or your girlfriend or whatnot does something that you don't like, and I don't feel like you should feel the need to bite your tongue about it. Like if it bothers you, at some point you need to talk about it. It might not be that day, that moment. Hell, it might not even be that year. But if it bothers you and impacts you and to that effect, then it needs to be said. You don't need to hold on to that or let shit pile
So
on top of
basically, what
it.
happened
And then you
was the
explode and we're thinking
conversation.
you're mad because you burnt
Hmm.
the damn
So
macaroni and cheese
start.
or whatever.
This
Like,
is
I
this
mean,
is what got this going. I said
yeah.
that women over-index on value, and that they may value something higher than what we value that same thing as. So when they want credit for something, um, we may not respond to it, or we are giving props to something
Hmm.
that we really don't care about, which also led to the fact that men self-edit a lot. So women can say a lot of fucked up shit to men, and we kind of just
No, I'm not excusing
we
that.
just take the jabs, and we go, okay, boom, this ain't one I'm gonna let go. I gotta respond to this. Or a woman could say something that seems insignificant, but that's big enough to make us go, okay, we finna set this whole shit on fire. But that's because over time we've been building up
Hmm.
this issue that we haven't been addressing with our spouse, our girlfriend, or whatever, because we know as men that some fights, no matter how we started, ain't gonna end in our favor. So we can let this go. We can choose these battles differently. So what that just essentially led to the fact that she feels like we shouldn't hold these things in. We should just bring it up and address it. But we as men know that it just doesn't
Oh my
work like that
God.
for us. This is what she's kind of explaining, that we should just bring that shit up
Nah,
to our
don't.
spouse
Yeah,
at some point.
no,
Don't let it live.
no.
Make work on it. Men should grow up and be able to have conversations.
Nope,
You,
I didn't say that either.
we should
I say
growth.
it's growth
I
on
was
both
gonna get
parts.
to both,
Both.
but this is essentially what I
Okay,
just
well, I'm glad
explained to you is
you
what she's
decided
getting
to.
at, and I think she has some more to say. So I'm gonna step back.
Yeah, thank you. I don't have anything really more to say other than the fact that I'm not excusing the wrongdoing on either part. But what I won't sit here and do is sit here and try to say, "Oh, it's women's fault and X, Y,
So,
Z." No, it's
so
not.
the part of what I was saying
Like,
when she brought that up earlier is the fact
oh
that
my
you can't
goodness.
really put that
Mhm.
if men are self-editing, men are finding other ways and avenues to have these conversations about these problems and move forward, then how can it really be on us to continue to
Mhm.
grow and figure out more ways to communicate things that we're already trying to maneuver and dance around? And she feels like we shouldn't do that. We should bring that to our spouse.
No, Ro, but wait a minute, Ro. You're not going to sit here and do this. Did I literally say that that was your responsibility? Did
Yeah,
I say that was your responsibility?
you did.
I did not. I said that the woman is going to have to
No,
learn how
I
to
said that.
respond. They shouldn't be
I said
so.
that.
Uh, oh my
So the other
God,
side is this: is that the
bruh.
women has to
So
work on
basically,
their response
All right.
this has
as
been
well.
like
So,
Star, what do you think? We don't have to, or unless Shannon
so.
can
So me and Eric,
do the breakdown.
You know what? Here, no. This is what we're gonna do. This is what I suggest we do. Shannon, you
yeah.
are the mediator of the group. You've been here since fucking 65 minutes. I would like for you to paraphrase uninterrupted what transpired because I am really getting tired of my words being jerked, rearranged,
Shannon, go ahead.
fucking shit being. Yeah, there you go. Shannon, please continue, please.
he,
Alright,
look,
so
this is a prime
when we
example
first
of
got,
y'all
let
He
me
need
don't
just
to
even
start at
mute
the
You
know.
end.
said
him because he
uninterrupted.
don't
No,
want to say
I'm gonna
nothing
start. I'm
because
gonna
he don't
start.
want you to interrupt him in your
Hold on, start.
wrong.
Wait.
I won't
Star, check
interrupt
this out.
anything. I promise.
Mhm.
I'm done.
Star,
I won't
what you
interrupt
just said
anything. I won't
is
interrupt
what I
anything.
said probably 10 minutes ago. That this is an example of
Oh my
exactly what
God,
they've been talking about.
Somebody please give bro some pussy or something. Give him a blunt. Give him
How's the
a
person that
drink
said
of
they don't want
Hennessy
to
or
interrupt
some
the
How-
ass,
uninterrupted?
some
Say,
head. Give him something because he
say,
literally needs a
say,
I,
Divine.
cigarette.
I've
Shannon,
noticed.
can you please?
Say,
Shannon, go
man,
ahead.
it's
Shannon,
been
go.
55 minutes of this.
Yes, Shannon,
Cause
please,
we
because
was
Shannon,
I feel like
we
we're
that's
was on
going
the
through
Shannon.
a
phone
He's
movie.
15
trying to
minutes.
get it out. Go ahead, King.
Come on, Shannon. I fucking hate y'all sometimes, man.
Say,
I
man,
can't.
say, bro,
I'm so
literally 55 minutes.
for
This is what
real.
they've been
This
on
Ooh-wee.
shit.
for
Ooh-wee.
55
Nigga,
minutes.
we ain't even getting
I
paid for
just,
this shit, man. Exactly. Nobody.
no, man, I ain't even gonna pull the movie in. I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm telling you, cause this is eventually what happens to every episode that we do together.
I don't
Ro
even
and
be
Eric are finna
arguing
argue.
though.
They finna go back and forth about
I,
everything.
I
Y'all
don't
just
either.
said
I
y'all
ain't
was gonna let
arguing.
him talk
I'm over here
uninterrupted,
Neither
and
one of
no,
y'all
y'all look
ain't
at it
did it
like
yet,
arguing, but
no, I mean I didn't say that. I never said
right?
and that's the problem. And that's the problem right there. As soon as they hear something, man, it's like, nah, that's
It
not what I
it is.
said. They
I
both
mean, I
do
only
it,
been
both
on about
of them,
15 minutes,
and
and
it's
I've noticed. So
hilarious.
I can
it
only
is.
imagine the other hour or so. But my
but
thoughts
Star,
on
what's
Yeah.
your thoughts?
All right, Shannon, we continue. Shannon, Shannon. Finish. Go on, bro. Go ahead. What happened?
it,
What is shit? What did Devon
I
miss?
mean, hell,
So
that's what
Star,
happened.
based on what
That's
I've
it.
explained to
That's what
you,
happened.
what are your
so
thoughts on men and and them self-editing to satisfy their woman versus
I can
expressing
see
themselves wholly at the
both
moment?
sides actually. I can see that
Let her
men
answer.
do tend to hold back a lot to avoid the sake of argument because y'all feel like women are argumentative no matter what y'all say. I get that aspect. I also get Erica saying y'all shouldn't hold shit in. If we fucking up, tell us we fucking up. So it's like a double-ended sword because you're damned if you
Point
do, you're
blank.
damned if you don't.
Period.
So I get it. And I'm not saying that anybody is wrong because we all human and men just perceive things the way they do and women do the same. It's a perception issue actually. So,
What do you prefer?
Mm-hmm.
I,
For you and your relationship,
mm-hmm.
if you got a guy, you guys are arguing, and you can see because men do this all the time. We just stop.
Right.
We sit back and stop and let you have it. What would you do? You really want his response to what you're saying
Now,
to him, no matter how foul it is, or would you rather him still kind of control his
I'm a different kind of
behavior in those
individual.
situations?
So it depends on the situation. Because depending on what we arguing about, I don't give a fuck what you're talking about either way. So even if you expressing your feelings, I might not want to hear it at the time because I don't give a damn. So in all honesty though, I would prefer if you feel like I'm fucking up, you ain't gotta tell me in an argumentative way. Just be like, hey, babe, don't talk to me like that, or I ain't like when you did this, whatever. And we can go from there on some adult shit. But if you done already disrespected me and now I'm disrespecting you in return, I don't
There
care
you
what you're
go.
talking
So the crux of what I've been saying
about.
is that what you said is pretty much how men handle these situations, because we know that we could say something, not that we even being disrespectful. We could address this issue, but you're already so far gone that we know that, well, I gotta pull her to the side and say, look, I heard you and I respect what you're saying, and everything you're saying is your points are valid, but I still feel this way. That's how we have to approach the situation to pacify you, because if anything other than that can come off disrespectful, because we know Our Lady. But in reality, in the moment or whatever you saying, we feel like that's some bullshit. We feel like what you're saying is some dumb, goofy ass shit that you see from your perspective. But we cannot respond that way, although a woman can. If I come to you with my shit and you feel like it's disrespectful, you feel that you have the right to go off on that nigga. And it is what it is. Whatever happened, happened. Because if he don't like it, he can get
It's
the fuck
all in
out.
your
Am I
wording,
correct or
actually,
not?
if we feel if you're being
Mm,
disrespectful. And I think that's for both men and women.
yeah.
How
In my
often have you
current
been
relationship,
disrespected?
I am talking to Erica,
Sure.
Shannon, and Ro on a podcast. See, y'all almost got me fucked up. You
Tell
see?
brother I said hello. See? That's why I said, look, tell him I said hello. Whatever.
All he heard was some
Look,
Fuck is you in
okay.
there
crying
talking
immediately.
about?
I know, right? But hey, check this out. Like, again,
No, but
I know, right?
are we
It's
talking about
already
in
heard. He
life
was like,
or
it's
like
time to take him
currently?
go. Like, okay, I'm gonna say
Okay.
this.
If you pick, let's say your
Yeah.
last relationship, how often were
Oh, I
you
ain't had no relationship
disrespected
before this.
in
Yes,
an
I am
argument?
talking.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you.
But
Oh, me
But
either.
has there been moments that you felt
there
disrespected
has in
that you had to check?
history.
S- Shannon, how many how many
What you
times
need
have
me to
you
vouch? How
how
many
many
times
times
she
have
been
you been
disrespected?
disrespected in your
It
relationship?
hasn't happened often, but when it does, it's hilarious. Disrespect,
Okay.
disrespect is a
Now, how many
perception
times do
on
you
my
think you
part.
Yeah,
It may not have
exactly.
came out disrespectful. How many times I intentionally
where
been
no that
disrespectful? It's
go
been a
ahead.
few times where I'm like, oh no, I'm finna say some off the wall shit because I'm trying to get my point across. How many times I've done that? Probably about seven.
The
I
whole
give it a
relationship?
good seven. The whole relationship, yeah.
Well,
That's
that's the
not bad.
point. That's the point I'm
Y'all been
Well,
together
I
for
making.
just had
13
What
to.
Star
years.
was saying.
Boy, everything they say is a point.
So
Everything they say
just
is your
like
point. But
what
let me just
Star
say this
said,
right quick, okay? As far
let
as
me.
the whole being
I went on
disrespectful,
this
Shannon
journey.
said
I'm
something
trying.
that's very valid.
I'm.
Let me
But let me
piggyback on
put a
what Shannon
bow.
said.
I'm gonna put
Let
a
me
bow on
piggyback
my
on what
part of the
Shannon said.
conversation.
Can
Hold
I
I'm
on,
gonna put a
say
bow
what
on
Erica,
my
let him
Shannon?
part of the
finish. Erica, let him
conversation,
finish.
and then
Erica,
we'll
let
let
him
you
finish
go.
right quick.
Go ahead,
Just,
and then
just
go
hold your
ahead.
point. Just
Yeah,
hold your
So
point. Let him
go
finish.
ahead,
so
because trust, I won't forget it.
um, Shannon said 7 times. Star, you said that
Mm-hmm.
there's been several times you've been
I wouldn't
disrespectful.
say several,
Is
but
that is that
it's
right?
occurred in the past.
what I'm getting at is the way that
Sporadically.
women receive or put out disrespect is different from the way men go, okay, I am going to consciously stop and be disrespectful to make this point. And that's all I'm saying is like where you're saying that this it's all in the wording and this and that is because men know it's all in the wording and the delivery. So we never we know that no matter how mad I get, no matter how disrespected I am, I'm still going to control myself in this situation. Whereas women tend to be more reactive because we have to come to you a certain way.
Can I go
Okay,
ahead and say what I
hold,
had to say, Shannon?
hold on,
Since
hold
obviously you're the
on.
moderator.
Hold on before, because I'm gonna piggyback off what he just said.
Mm-hmm.
It is true. I'm gonna give you an example of how it's true. Because the way that you say something to your wife, your girlfriend, your significant other, she can take it disrespectfully, even though you may not be saying it in a disrespectful way. And now the focus is not on what the point that you were trying to address. It was the delivery of it.
Mm.
And now that's what you're arguing about. So that's why as men, that goes to Rose's point. The point is that it's not so much that I don't want to, I'm going to hold on to things, I'm not going to address them. I have to stop. I have to make a
Yeah.
conscious effort to stop and think and get my words together and get it all sorted out and pick out all the scenarios where, okay, if I say it like this, maybe, okay, all right, so I need to change this up or whatever. So by the time I come in to address it, I need it to be airtight because I don't want to lose the point.
Exactly. Cause yeah.
If the point is your meatloaf is not really that good, I don't need you to think, "Look, what are you trying to say? My mom gave me a
Yeah.
recipe. You don't like my mama? That's not what I'm saying."
Nah. Yeah.
and
But
and that was it. Okay, so
yeah.
that all right. So
All
we
right.
all done. Go
We're
ahead.
all done. Cause I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not even like I'm not arguing. I joke. I get heated. I raise my voice. But I will say this. When it comes to the point as far as, how many times have you been disrespected? That was a question that Rose said. Am I
That
correct or
was
am
only
I
for them
phrasing
too.
it wrong? How many times you been to Okay. I appreciate you not asking me because all you were
No,
gonna
I
do
was
is
gonna
flip
do.
the shit and reverse it. But anyways, so he asked how many times were you disrespected? And what I have to say on
Erica,
that
stop
note, I
antagonizing,
will. I'm
man.
done.
Just
I'm
answer the question.
antagonizing Rose,
No,
but I'm good.
no, you being
Rose,
antagonizing.
I'm done antagonizing you, okay? But what I will say is when
Okay.
it comes to the whole like how many times you've been disrespected, one thing that I have learned is that if you want to really be disrespected, we're disrespected multitude of times a day. Like, but at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves,
Really?
is what they're saying, is it true? If there's any truth to it, then if it's not, then why the fuck
Yeah.
am I worried about it? Really? What's going on? Star, are you okay? So like,
We
okay,
should.
so for example, like if okay, so as a man, a man can feel disrespected because a woman made a decision without consulting with him first. Okay, I can see that because that's something that I had to learn early in my marriage because I was used to making decisions without consulting with anybody. And women, yeah, we can take that as, oh, you shouldn't have to check in on your man. No, it's not. It's about respect. It's about respect. And 9 times out of 10, when it comes to CJ will trust if I had to make that decision without him knowing, 90% of the time CJ will trust and say, okay, well, yeah, you did the right thing in my absence. You get what I'm saying? But as far as a man feeling disrespected, I do feel that a man he does need to vocalize it. And he should be able to vocalize it without being in fear of like, not even fear, I'm sorry, but like having to deal with an argument, any pushback. And we as women, we're going to have to learn how to accept criticism. I do feel like that's growth. That is growth when you're able to communicate without it resulting into an argument because we don't have to agree on every damn thing. We don't. So if you feel that I disrespected you And if I was trying to, I would let it be done. Okay, Star. All right. If you feel that I disrespected you or whatnot, and if that was my intent, that's a totally different problem right there. Because you should never be disrespecting your spouse, your significant other, or none of that. I don't play that shit. I don't believe in doing that crap. And I don't believe in bringing a person down, kicking them when they're down. I don't believe in any of that. However, I'm saying when it's misinterpreted or a man feels the need to bite their tongue about it. I mean, I feel like it needs to be vocalized. It needs to be said, not a man holding on to that and then eventually the shit blows off and look, I don't like how you did X, Y, and Z or whatever. It's like you getting hit with this laundry list of complaints when in our mind we didn't know that anything was wrong. We didn't know anything was wrong. And the only thing that I will definitely say, Ro, like, I guess it upsets me when you say
Like
things like
what?
this, because when you're in a relationship, it ain't about who
I
it
don't
ain't about who won or who lost. We're a team. We are a team.
things like what?
And that's how I look at relationships. We are a team. So if I fuck
Hold on,
up,
hold on, hold on. Wait.
tell me
Time out. Time out.
what
Time out. Because
what is shit.
Erica made a point. She say, bro, that's what upsets me when you say things like that, and then she proceeded with the point.
I sure did,
Bro,
because I
hold
can't
on,
stand that
hold on,
shit.
hold on.
I can't stand when
Ro ain't
people
heard
say, "Oh,
shit she
it's your
said
fault.
after that.
It's his
Our
fault.
Ro
It's
was
your
on.
fault."
She was
Yeah,
like,
no,
hold
I
on, what I
heard,
say?
but I'm like, because I gotta know, and she went on a long run, so I gotta know when she says I say things like
But
this.
did
I
you
want to
hear?
know
I
what
mean, but
we're
did you?
reference to because I've said a lot. So I don't know what you was
Okay,
referencing.
because yeah, when you say that, whose fault is that? Okay, when you said whose fault is that? When you said a man is not able to tell his
I
girl
didn't
something
say
because
that.
it's going to result in an
I didn't say
argument,
that.
and I say
I
that,
said that
okay, then
we
what did you
don't.
say? What did you say? When you have to self edit
No, I
and
said
not
that
say
we.
something
It's
out
about the
of okay,
response.
what did you?
It's not that. It's not a fear of an argument or anything like that. It's the way that you respond that we have to, like Shannon said, go through this list of ways that we can articulate this point and hope that it lands properly so we stay on the point. But because
Well, let me tell you, when you get to a point where you don't have to, that's a beautiful thing because you won't. I mean, you won't have no arguments. Y'all will be on the same fucking page, and I know it takes time to get there, but at some point, you're going to have to be able to communicate when you're disrespected or when you don't like something. And as a woman, we're going to have to be able to accept that, hey, he didn't like how I made his meatloaf, or, oh, we are going to have to accept criticism. As a woman, I agree with that. What I have an issue with, and what I was saying that I feel like it upset me, is the fact that you were like, well, whose fault is that? It's nobody's fault.
but
Like, if y'all are fighting,
first
y'all both them fucking lost. In my
you're the one
opinion,
that asked the
you
question,
don't
whose
both
fault is
lost.
that? And I said women. I never asked the question whose fault.
No, when I said whose fault is that, I was referring to you saying, God damn it, y'all stop sending me pictures, stop sending me text messages, please. They're popping up on the phone. What I'm saying is, and let me also say this, my iPhone, my Apple Watch has alerted me that my heart rate is at a 120. So let me calm down. Hold on. Let me take a deep breath. No, I'm joking. But anyways, when I say whose fault is that, what I'm referring to is you can't get mad at that situation where the man you blow up because we didn't know. We didn't even know it was an issue because you didn't say anything. That's what I'm referring
Still
to.
things I didn't say.
Oh my motherfucking, I gotta go. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day, and I appreciate y'all for jumping on at whatever hour you decided
Just
to jump
delete this
on.
one. I'm
I'm
gonna need you to
gonna have
just
to chop
delete
this
this
up in
one and
probably
start over.
three
Just put it all
freaking
up.
segments. Bro, I love you, and yeah, I mean, dude,
Hell
yeah,
no, don't
I'm
delete this
not
shit.
deleting the shit. I ain't deleting the damn thing because you know what? These arguments are the ones, believe it or not, are the ones that I get the most
They
views
all
and the most comments on. And Ro, drop your information too because I'll
nah.
be
They
wanting them to
You said
contact
I'm
out here.
you. I'll
I'm
be
easy to
wanting,
find.
yeah. Now, Ro,
They know how to.
give them your
Hey,
contact information. Yeah, okay. Well,
see you
we'll
guys next
Google,
time.
Google Ro. Bye, bye, bye. I'll talk to you later. Shannon, tell your wife I said sorry. And
Peace, love,
Ro,
and
I'm here.
soul.
Ro,
Hey, y'all can check this
Ro.
professional podcast out called the Kind of
Truth,
Famous
truth.
Podcast. Facebook.com/KINDA famous pod POD. If you want to find me, that's how. Twitter and Instagram, Row is famous. ROWE is famous.
There you go. Bam. All right, this is the end of it. Bro, I love you. There's no argument, no hard feelings whatsoever. I just like fucking with you. Is there anything else you want to say to me? Is
No,
there anything you got to say to me?
I'm here. Like they agree with me anyway. I'm
You
not
here?
concerned.
All right. Nigga, you just want somebody to agree with you. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
They don't have to agree with
All
me.
right.
They don't have to agree.
So
Is we
I
finished?
don't
So
need
we
no.
done?
I don't need any. Look, I don't need any cheerleaders. I don't need no co-signers. I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
So we done?
That's what I
Are we
thought.
finished?
Bye, dog. I love y'all.
Okay. So